Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope that you guys are having a blessed Sunday morning. I got a little time on my hands because my husband is in a meeting at church and we decided to ride together. So why not get a live in? Especially because the post that I just reposted kind of got my wheels spinning this morning. And basically, the post said that this woman's therapist told her that most black women don't identify when they're depressed or have anxiety because they view it as them failing. And it hit me and it impacted me because I definitely have been there, done that. As a matter of fact, I would say earlier this year I was feeling that way, and there's been a lot of seasons throughout my life that I was feeling like I was failing. Um, and it's a lot of it had to do with the expectations that I have of myself. I have really high expectations of myself. A lot of it has to do with as Black women, I believe that we are conditioned from our childhood to be people pleasing. We're taught that we got to be there first, and we got to leave last as far as professionally speaking. We're taught that the expectations are higher of us because of the way that the world mistreats us. We're taught that even going back to Jim Crow, segregation, slavery, we were taught to step and fetch, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, all of those things, and um, you know, we spent hundreds of years in that subservient position. And to a certain extent, we're still in a subservient position in so many areas of life. I mean, we're still trying to not even fight for special rights, but just equal rights as it relates to how we're paid, how we're allowed to speak. We contend with microaggressions most days. And it wasn't until a few years ago that people even identified and admitted the microaggressions that we deal with. And a lot of times we look externally and we think that a majority of what we contend with is happening to us through external forces, and it's happening to us through men, or it's happening to us through white people, or it's happening to us through uh, some other external force outside. And honestly, if you look at the studies, most of the time it's us, meaning Black women, doing harm to other Black women. And it's really because of, again, the conditioning of growing up in a country and in a world that makes us feel like there's maybe only room for one of us, or that has conditioned us to have to fight for every single thing that we've ever received in our life. And so we are always in this fight or flight survival mode position. And if we are not winning the fight, even amongst one another, then we tend to think we're failing. And I just want to say, one of my favorite quotes, it's in my first book, it's probably in my second book, is you only fail if you quit. And so, Black woman, you're not failing. You're not failing by any means. As a matter of fact, you're flourishing. The fact that you woke up this morning in your right mind, clothed in strength. There's no one more resilient. There's no one more beautiful. There's no one that impacts culture like us. There's no one that has risen to greatness despite the odds like us. Um, we have the double burden of being Black and women. Yet every single day we get up, who flyer, who doper, who impacts life more than us. And, I think about it and I look around, and there is nothing else. I'm so thankful that God chose to create me as a Black woman. And um, there's just a magic, Black girl magic is real. And so I want to talk to the Black woman today that is contending with anxiety, that is contending with depression, because I've been there, done that. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to wake up tired. It doesn't feel good to cry every day. It doesn't feel good to look around your life. And it doesn't matter if you're in a mansion or shack. It doesn't matter if you're single or married. It doesn't matter if you have kids or no kids. Depression and anxiety are not a respecter of person. And it can impact any of us at any time. Um, I want to say that it is okay to not be okay, first and foremost. It is okay to seek help. It is okay not to have the energy for fake smiling. It is okay to not have the energy for uh, useless conversations. It is okay to break ties with toxic people, and it is okay to change your circle, including family. If there is anything that is disturbing your peace and your mental health, and if there's anyone that requires you to show up in a way that compromises your authentic self, or every time you leave them, you don't feel better. You actually feel heavier, or you actually feel um, sad, or you actually start to question your identity or what it is you're doing. That's not a healthy relationship to have in your life. All that, there's a little seriousness to every joke for the people who are constantly throwing shade. There's a little and the people that really love you, the people that really, really, really love you, they don't do it. I think about, my absolute best friends, and it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. We don't do that to one another. And if anything, we understand the shade, the toxic connections, the challenges at work, the challenges of just being a Black woman, the challenges in our marriages, the challenges as a mother. And so we don't want to be another challenge in one another's life. We actually want to be a safe place, a sacred space that we can just be without judgment. And so you're not failing. You're not failing. You may just be going through. And a lot of times when it looks like things are falling apart, they're actually falling back together. Because on so many occasions, in order to move our life forward, we need to unlearn the things that we think are holding us together in the first place. Because I believe that all parents, being a parent, we do the best we can with what we know at the time. Um, Not all, most. um, and what we know may not be the right thing. All you only know what you know, and when you know better, you do better. To quote the great, late great Dr. Maya Angelou. And so, y'all, I'm about to go into church, but I'm telling you this: I love Jesus, and I love my therapist. And no matter what the week is before me, no matter what's happened, I'll tell you this: there's an appointment that I don't miss every week, and that's my appointment with my therapist. And just to advocate for therapy, it's not, I'm not depressed. I'm not, I definitely deal with anxiety from time to time. I mean, who doesn't? We all have our moments, but just having that unbiased professional opinion to speak into my life and for me to share and unpack whatever it's going on, whether it be big or small, and to set that hour aside every week for myself to run through this is what's happening and what do you think. It's really been a game changer for me. It's changed how I show up in the world. It's changed how I show up um, in spaces with other people. It's changed, in life. I believe we're either reacting or responding. And when we respond, that means we've taken some time to actually think about what our response should be to a particular situation. And sometimes it's got to be a split second decision, but we decide. When we react, that's us moving in our lower self and we're just reacting to whatever emotion was thrown at us. And I have made a decision this year in particular that as a leader, as a mother, as a grown woman, that I don't have the time nor the space nor the energy to be running around reacting to people's opinions about me, to people's lies about me, to people's gaslighting of me, because gaslighting is real. People be trying to get you. And especially, I'm going to speak to the leaders out there who are building something and who are moving their life forward. It is in those moments that you're moving your life forward for the better. And it's in those moments that you are elevating. And it is in those moments that things are going well, and it's kind of smooth, that there will be, it will seem like every attack possible, whether it be, for me, it'll start like something will happen physically, like I'll get a toothache, or a tooth will break, or or my spleen will spontaneously rupture. That really just happened. And then all of a sudden, someone who I thought was a friend will turn out to have been, Beyonce. Yesterday we were listening to Mood Forever, my daughters and I, and that song starts with her saying, I know my enemies prey on me, so pray for me. So she's saying my enemies prey on me, PREY, so pray for me, PRAY. And so my 12-year-old caught that for the first time yesterday, and she said that was clever. And I was like, yeah, she's saying like, yeah, like there's people praying for my downfall, as they say. So then I need you to pray for me. And so just know everybody's not gonna be happy with your happy. Everybody's not gonna want to see you happy. Misery loves company, and a lot of times they don't even know why they don't want you to be happy. They will fixate themselves on your happiness not being real, or you not being real, or the inauthenticity of your life. And my thing is, a lot of times, why are you worried about my life? Whether you think my life is real, fake, complicated, simple, whatever it is, how you got time to worry about it? Because I'll tell you this, I don't got time to worry about nobody else's life. And I'm so happy for other people's happy. And if anything, if I am concerned about someone else's life, my concern is one of how can I help make it better, or if it's not my place because we're not that close, to sincerely pray for it to be better. I don't want anyone to live a life that's not. I don't. Not even people who have misused my kindness, who have betrayed my trust, who have abused my love. It doesn't matter. I still want what's best for them, because at the end of the day, like my favorite Mother Teresa quote says, it's never about me and them. It always comes down to me and God. And I want to live a life that is representative of God and His love that lives on the inside of me. And that means that no matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter how they act, I have control over how I respond, and I can choose to respond in love. And choosing to respond to love doesn't mean I'm kicking it with them. Doesn't mean I'm naive to the foolery. Doesn't mean that I surround myself with them. It just means that I choose not to react, or to like I talked about this before. I choose not to match their energy. My energy shouldn't be shifted or changed by your energy. I should always show up and shine, regardless of how someone else in the room is acting. And if I can so easily be swayed, there's a verse in the Bible that says, if if you fall to pieces at the first sign of trouble, there wasn't much to you to begin with. And I keep that in my heart. That's a simpler translation. So I think that's the Message version translation of that scripture. But it's like, yeah, I can't fall to pieces every time somebody acting out, especially when you know that there's greatness on the inside of you. And I will tell you this, there's greatness on the inside of all of us. And so when you know there's greatness on the inside of you, the difference is that we're all a gift. We're all born with a gift on the inside of us. It's just some of us choose not to unwrap it. But once you decide to unwrap that egg and to share it with the world, just know, like, they coming for you. They coming for you with everything they got, because the people who are in the stands that are choosing comfort over courage, and they're not courageously willing to walk out the gift that they were born with, always gonna have hate for somebody who's not. And I used to always say, like, I don't know why people spend so much time thinking about haters, and I don't know why people spend so much time talking about haters. And even Maya Angelou, I love the poem "Haters see my glory, but they don't know my story. But I will tell you this: at almost 45, I get it because the hate be real, and you don't you choose not to react, hopefully, and you choose to keep going despite what's happening. But it doesn't mean you don't feel it. My aunt and I were talking. My aunt is 70 years old and so wise, and I was talking about some individuals that just seem to be at my head right now, and it's all built on some untruths, and and I said, I just want to be left alone. And she said, they never gonna leave you alone. And she said, and I mean they in a general sense, not these people in particular. But she said, there's something special about you. And there's something special about what you're meant to do in this world. And there's something special about how you show up in this world. So there's always going to be people to show up trying to take down or tear down what you're building. And unfortunately, we live in a world that people are quicker to believe a lie than they are the truth. And so, what you have to do is you have to be willing to stand in your truth and stand up in it and to keep moving in it until it all comes back around. Because that's what I will tell you is that there'll be people that are willing to believe a lie before they believe the truth, but also the truth will outlive the lie every single time. So stand in your truth. You're not failing. You may be going through something. You may be depressed. You may have anxiety. You may, it's hard. It's hard. And it could be the littlest things that trigger it. It could be the littlest things. I will tell you, if you follow me for a while, I've had some serious dental issues. That was enough to put me into a state of depression. It just felt like every time, I was moving something forward, then, here come my mouth again. And it's like, people start to lose empathy and compassion for you when things are recurring, and it goes from compassion and empathy to being judgmental because it's frustrating because there's just some things that are beyond our control that happen in our life, and those who are the most successful and those who are the happiest and those who show up every day ready to give their all, um, choose not to be distracted and choose not to be stopped. You might have to sit still for a minute. You may have, you need to heal whatever it is, whether it be something mental, physical, spiritual, whatever. But like you can rest, but don't quit because you only fail if you quit. So take your rest and just know that there's greatness in you, and the world needs it. So keep showing up. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go. Peace, love, power. Have a great Sunday.